Hello and welcome to this TD College Tech Byte about MEL. My name is Kevin Mannens, and in this little Tech Byte we are going to discuss how to create a very simple UI in MEL and how to add a little bit of functionality to it. I'm going to show you what we will be making in this little Tech Byte. It's very simple, but it illustrates one of my favorite UI controls, which is a textScrollList, which is exactly what you see here. In essence, what we will make is a little UI that lists all the lights in your scene, and that will put them into this textScrollList, and that then enables you to turn off the specular attribute of the light that you have selected. So if you I've been playing around with it already a little bit, so let me create some lights. Let's say that we create some spotlights and I duplicate them, and then I execute the UI, which I will show you in a bit how that works. I can select some of the lights, or I can select all of them, or I can control select, and then if I say turn off specular, you will see that in light 1 and in spotlight 4, the ones that I have selected, the speculars are turned off. Obviously this is a very simple example, but this is how you could create light managers where you store all the lights into some fancy UI, and you attach all kind of functionality to it the way that you would want. Now let's have a look how we would throw this together, and let's use one of my favorite MEL editors for lately. It's called Maxia. Maxia is written by a couple of very smart Turkish people who use a lot of MEL, apparently, because it's really written by people who use a lot of MEL for TDs, by TDs for TDs. It has a lot of interesting features, but first let's have a look at where you can get it. You can go to this website here, tarsworkshop.com, and you can download a learning edition, which gives you full access to the program, but with a couple of limitations. But it's you have a list here of the things that that you can and can't do with the learning edition. But it's really handy tool. It's what is really nice about it is that you can start it standalone, which means it's not like a plugin for Maya that you have Maya loaded to actually work with it. It works like a standalone text editor, just like you would use Notepad or Crimson editor or something like that. So it works standalone, but at the same time it is linked to Maya, which means that if I execute something in here like that it actually is linked to the Maya port, and you can use it as a total replacement of the script editor. It has a lot of interesting features. Obviously you can see color highlighting. You can have these minimize buttons on your procedures. So if I just open them up again, all of them, you have here your procedures in a list, which allows you to jump to your procedures. All in all, a very handy tool, which will make your life much easier if you're doing a lot of coding. Anyway, back to what we will be writing here today, or in this little Tech Byte. Again, this is a very short introduction, or not an introduction, this is a very brief overview of how to create a very simple functionality that we have here. So let's go over it procedure by procedure. Obviously a procedure, as you can see here, what I've highlighted is a group of MEL commands. What we will be doing here, and I have commented this exhaustively, when you write MEL, you should always, there's a little bit of a double word in there. When you write MEL, you should always, or when you write any language, you should always put a lot of comments in your code, not only for yourself when you revisit your code later on, but also for other people. If you code in an environment, in a production environment, it is vital that you put in a lot of codes in your a lot of comments in your code, or well, you will be spanked otherwise. So you have to put in a lot of comments in your code. You see also that I make nice little titles for all my procedures, so they are clearly distinguished from each other, and a little description of what the procedure is actually doing. and most of the time also how the procedure fits within the script as a whole. Obviously this is a very simple script, so it's not really going to be necessary. So let's have a look at what is going on in this procedure. Like I say, a procedure is a group of commands that you group together and that will be loaded into memory when you execute it. So what is happening here in these first two lines is I'm simply doing a conditional. A conditional is an if statement. So what I'm doing is I'm checking if the window that I'm going to create already exists. You have to do this when you create windows because otherwise Maya will get confused. You will notice that I create, so obviously you have the Windows command, then I have, or the window command, then I have a flag on it which checks if a window called light win already exists. If it exists, then it gets deleted. So if I were to execute this, so just so you can see if that happens, if I execute just this line, you will see that my UI gets deleted. I have to do this because otherwise what could happen is my window, my light win could already be open, and then if I execute this script again, or if I execute this procedure again, I would simply have a lot of windows, the same windows next to each other. But that's obviously something that we do not want, so we want to check whether in this Maya session this window exists, and if it exists, then we are going to delete it. So then that we use the delete UI command. So obviously if you were to go to your Maya command reference and you type in delete UI, that is exactly what it will do. This command deletes UI objects such as windows and controls. So that's how you obviously find out what these commands do, or how you find commands that you need. Then we are going to create the window. So first we check it, right? If it is there, then delete it. Then create the window. Then we're going to create a column layout inside where we're going to store our controls in. In Maya or in MEL, when you create UI, it is always necessary that you create a layout. There's a couple of layouts. If you go to your help and you just type in layout, you will see that there is column layout, form layout, frame layout, grid layout, and so on. So if you want to create controls would be things like buttons or text scroll lists or frames and all those kind of UI controls. If you want to create controls, you have to put them into a layout. I put a flag next to the column layout, which is AGD, which is for adjustable. Let's look it up. I've written so many UIs that I just use the short flag names. And actually forgotten in this case what the long one stands for. I know what it does, but which is adjustable column. Okay, adjustable column sets the children of the layout to be attached on both sides. What does that mean? That means that if I execute this UI, and the text scroll list and the button are basically children of the column layout. That means the adjustable column flag, what that does is, if I scale the window, if I scale the column layout, you will see that my controls within that column layout scale along with it. You can see clearly that the button is scaling along with it. If I would set this to 0, then that would not happen. I like that, so that kind of, you know, based on the different resolutions that your users might be working on, or they want to create make the window a little bit bigger. Obviously it's nicer if the UI controls move along. What I have done is I have a text scroll list which is 150 pixels high. There is 150 pixels high, and I allow for automatic selection and allow for multi-selection. So what that means is that you can select more than one item in there. That is this one, allow for multi-selection. And allow for automatic selection means that the user can drag over the items, and then that will automatically select or deselect the items. So I have turned both of those on, and then I give my my control